If you look at the back of your exam paper, on the back of your exam paper, you'll see a formula under trend projection. The formula says B1 equals N sigma TYT. It looks a complicated formula, but take the formula exactly from the back of your paper, from your exam paper, write it down, and I'll just show you exactly what these things mean. Now, I'm just going to raise this here. Okay, I'm just going to raise this, and I'm just going to show you the first calculation. Now, the first calculation says B1 equals N. N. What does N mean? N here means the number of periods. In this case, N is 10. There are 10 periods, so N equals 10. Now, if you look at your table, I have already calculated this, sigma TYT. Sigma TYT was located here, at the bottom of the table here. Sigma TYT. So all we're doing is now going to substitute the values that we have worked out here into that formula. The formula looks complicated, but we have already worked out everything we need. So it'll be 10 multiplied by sigma TYT was 8,917. That's this first part, minus, now this is sigma T multiplied by sigma YT. Sigma T we worked out at 55, and sigma YT 1683. So it'll be minus, open brackets. Now we go sigma T was 55 multiplied by sigma YT 1683, close brackets, all over N. What is N? Again, N I told you is number of periods. Sigma T squared. Now let's don't get this confused. Sigma T squared is this value here. Sigma T squared. Okay? Sigma T squared. Meaning the addition of sigma T squared of this column. Now we put that here as 385. Now, minus this one here says sigma T all squared. Now, that's different to sigma T squared. Sigma T is this. That means sigma T squared is 55 all squared, or 55 by 55. The formula might look a little bit complicated, but it's very simple. Just once we have worked out that table, it's just a matter of substituting these figures. Now, for the purpose of your calculation now, let me just make it simple for you. I'm now going to just calculate. I want you in an exam to work it each line out separately, each part out. This part will be 89170 minus, let me work this out, 55 by 1683, 92565 all over 3850 minus, now 55 squared is 55 by 55. 55 by 55, we get 3025. Then when you work this out, what we'll find is that B1 equals, what does B1 equal to? Minus 4.11. Okay, that's the first part of the calculation. When I work this out, you should find that B1 equals minus 4.11. Okay, this is the first part of the question. Sorry, first part of the calculation. Now, after you've worked out B1, you will notice that there's another formula. The other formula is saying that B0, right? Let me just write it here for you. B0 equals y bar, okay? What does B0 equal? Y bar minus B1 T bar. Yeah? Okay. Okay, just pause a second, right? Okay, now to continue again. B0 equals y bar minus B1 T bar. Now you might ask what y bar is. Y bar means average. The average of y, or yt. Now, if this is yt here, y bar equals, let me write it here for you. Y bar is really average, so it means sigma yt on n. Same thing with t bar. T bar is very simple, it just means the mean of time. So it's the sigma of t over n. Very simple formula. In this case here, sigma t we already know. Yt was 1683 over 10. And t bar, this is y bar, t bar would be sigma t was 55 over 10, which equals 5.5 in this case, and 16. Yeah. So here is y bar. We worked out what y bar is. We worked out what t bar is. So notice in this case here, we didn't work out B0 first because we needed B1. So you must work out B1 first so that when you come to B0, you can work out B0. So again now, B0 equals y bar 16168.3 minus, now remember, B1 we just calculated as minus 4.1. So we put that in brackets, minus 4.11 multiplied by 5.5. Now, in this case, what will happen? B0 would equal, the minus minus would make it plus. Let me just work out 5.5 multiplied by 4.11, 22.61. Now when I add that over to this, I find that B0, now remember it was minus minus. So this would have been minus 22.61, so it would be minus minus 22, which is plus. Now when you work this out, you'll find that we get B0 to be 190.9. So we're soon there. We're soon there. We have B1. We worked out B1 before. We've now worked out B0. Okay. Now let me just write one more formula. Yeah. Okay, take a break. Okay, now I'm going to write, this is the formula now for the trend equation. We have worked out B1 and B0, but why did we work them out? This is the equation of a straight line. So the formula for trend projection says the forecast for period T equals B0 plus B1 times the period that you want to forecast. Right? So in this case here, we know what B0 is. 190.9. We know what B1 was. Minus 4.11. Now, the question has asked, develop a trend equation for this information and use it to predict next year's number of applications. So, the trend equation is this. It's the trend equation based on what we have written is TT equals 190.9. Now this is minus, so it'll be minus 4.11 T. Now, we have 10 periods already. The question is, what is the forecast for the next period? The next period would be period 11. So what we are trying to find out now is, once we have the equation for period 11, which is the next period, because we had 10 before, we are looking for T11. For period 11, we need T11. So T11 equals 190.9 minus 4.11 times 11. So period 11, then you put the 11 here. So if you want to find out for period 12, you say T12 equals this minus 4.11 times 12. Yeah. So in this here, T11 equals 190.9 minus, let's work that out, 4.11 multiplied by 11, 45.21. So we have to minus 190 minus that would give us an answer of 145.69. So our forecast for our next period would be 145 applications. Now, it's because what this minus B1 being minus just says that there's a negative slope. That means it's a downward trend. The applications each year is becoming lesser and lesser. Once the minus is there on the B1, it just means that you're becoming lesser and lesser. It's a downward trend. An upward trend, B1 would be positive. Yeah? So, again, just recap. Our focus here was to find out what, in the trend equation, in the trend question, what T11 was. That's what we were trying to find out. T11 for the next period. There were 10 periods, and we want to find out the next period, which was T11. So T11, once we find our B1 and B0, we substitute it into the equation. Now the equation and the formulas are all given at the back of your exam paper. So don't think that you have to remember these formulas. All you need to do is practice. Practice doing this question about 4 or 5 times, and you'll be able to get through. So in this again, to recap, T11, you have your B1 and B0. This is your trend line. For T11, it'll be 190.9 minus 4.1 times 11, which we've calculated here. We worked out. So our projection for the next year period is 145 new applications. Thank you.